Hey YouTube, I know it's been a while since I've uploaded anything, but around April I had my computer get trashed during the Windows update. I forgot my SD card was in there, and unfortunately my SD card also had my Windows backup, my reinstaller. So I ended up going through a bunch of things, trying out different operating systems. And in the meantime, I was given a computer to work on also, and was told, well, when I was done with it, I could keep it. So I'm keeping a hold of it right now, basically. I told him he could have it back if he wants it. But he's like, no, you can have this thing. That's your laptop. But anyways, this is Linux Mint. The 19.2 Tina edition. It's pretty much the same as what I was used to on Windows, so... Well, for the interface. It does have this neat thing, though. With the, having the apps available from this... Not take up all the screen when they run. That's probably because I was my old computer was upgraded from a Windows 8 to a 10. But there's a lot of interesting tools and stuff I found out recently that I wished I knew about before. But my main issue with this was, no matter what I did, my controllers were all screwed up across different games on Steam. And that one really threw me for a loop. Eventually, I just figured out I should use an input mapper. For me, I've been able to use QJoypad on here, but other people have been having better time with anti-micro. I haven't really gone so far as to getting it finished for my QJoypad setup either. I've only got it up to the point where I can run at least Postal 2 correctly. But as you can see, I have like 2 copies of Doom 3 installed now. This one up here is the one from Steam, and this one down here is one is the Linux engine I installed. And some of these games are very specific that, I mean, they only show up on Linux, and setting it up on the start menu was kind of funny for some of these where they just straight up download. But I'll show you how I did that. Now, I know there's plenty of tutorials already for Linux Mint, but I need to make a shortcut for a certain game I've gotten here. Witch Blaster. This game's pretty much like Binding of Isaac, but not the same. It has like god worship and stuff like that. It's very cheesy though. Very cheesy. What I need to do is I need to find an icon for that. So let me look and see if I have one in here so far. I guess I could use the bag for the icon for it. That makes sense. Alright, so now I found my icon I want to use. I'm going to right click on here. I'm going to create a new folder. Not a new folder, but new launcher. Here we go. Name of this is Witch Blast. Might help if I spell witch correctly. I mean, it's right there and I'm still typing it wrong. For the command, I'm going to just go right to the folder for it. I'm going to go to my home because I have it sitting there. And let's see. Oh, there it is, Witch Blast. Now, normally you could just like double click the exe, but there's a run script here. I'm going to say the run script. Sometimes when you get an app, it doesn't have the run script, and if it's not a app image or something like that, the file type, it's not an app image, then you'll have to after I acquired it up there. But you have to make your own script in order to launch that. Script making's not so bad compared to what I used to do. I mean, I used to like all out make a new code for everything. Oh, I messed up. I forgot to change the icon. That's gonna reflect that in my start menu too. But I may as well show you how to change that in the start menu. Browse. Got to change the icon. Got to go to my home. Back to the game folder. Into the media. There's the bag. Click that. Select it. We're good to go. All right. Now, for the start menu, you have to go down here and you have to right-click on it. And you say configure. And you hit the menu button here and you hit open the menu editor. And when you first add a game to the desktop, when it asks you to install it to the start menu, it always throws it in the other folder. So I need to find Witch Blast. Okay, I'm going to edit that. By hitting the properties, I think. Yep. Now I got to change that to the icon I want to use. Then I'm also going to move it to the games folder because it's a game. Okay, to do that, I'm going to just cut it from here. Click the game section, and then click paste. It should be in here now. Now, if you installed something and you don't want it to show up on the menu, you can just check it off in the start menu here instead of deleting it. Now, sometimes when you install something through their app store, it makes multiple entries. It's for different versions of the application. For some reason, they have like the older edition installed at the same time as the newer one for backup reasons. But now I did that, I should go to my start menu. I should find Witch Blast in there. Now, Witch Blast is one of the reasons why I got fed up with using the built-in mapper because, well, it's not very hard to use the built-in mapper on the system, but you have to install a package called Joystick from the command line. It's not shown up on any of the stores. You could probably use Synaptic Package Manager to find it, but it's a different interface to the Ubuntu file server. Linux Mint comes with that pre-installed. No, I'm not gonna bother messing with that right now. But after Joystick's been installed, then you have to go to like your joystick calibrator. Where's my controller? Because Linux Mint comes with this built-in here. And then that's my Hori PS4 mini controller. That's the reason why it says Hori Mini 4. Now it actually automatically detects it, but it ended up screwing up the axes on me. I had to flip the axes around using a menu. I also had to change the button layout because Witch Blast didn't like the button layout. I just when I go to the control panel for Witch Blast, because of the way my button layout was, it kept messing up. Now I have some games that still misbehave when I hit my upper L1 trigger, but as for that, I haven't figured it out yet. But I do know that you can change the mapping of buttons by hitting this mapping button here. Now up here it tells you have to have the joystick driver installed, which is from the command line. Normally Linux Mint doesn't even bother with this, having this on here. I don't know why, because I mean, there's a lot of games that just work just with the controller without using the joystick kernel driver. But it doesn't allow remapping of the buttons. Now I had to flip the axes around, as you can tell, axis 0, axis 1, and all that. I had to flip them around to make it behave like you would expect it to. And you just do that by dragging and dropping it until everything's in the right position. Now these buttons, these were something else though, because they're labeled like Xbox buttons, even though it's not really an Xbox. Still, you know why that's Z. That's an R trigger. Yeah, that's the R trigger, but still labeled Z. I guess that's for people that are trying to map this so they can use it on their their GameCube or N64 emulators. And then the rest of these buttons were just fine. It was just the face buttons that were all messed up. And I only had to flip these ones around on the Hori pad. But I assumed if you just plug in a regular Xbox controller or PlayStation controller, this thing automatically detects it and does it right. I have used Ubuntu before, and their joystick calibrator kind of screws up with the way an Xbox paddle is supposed to behave, and there's like a lot of that swapping to go through in order to get your controller just right. And also on Ubuntu, they just don't install the joystick kernel tool either, so it makes me go nuts just thinking about it. But I wanted to let you guys know what was going on here, so with my system, because I went through a lot. I really went through a lot. I haven't even given up on Windows for a while. But I did install Wine on here, but that's only because I like Repton. That's my game. That's like my only Windows game I got on here. So, just wanted to let you guys know what's going on, and you can check it out later. Bye.